For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, your mother's favorite podcaster, the guy that has the password to your mama's phone, and the new Bullet Cast podcast champion. Yes, what 13, 14 times around the sun? I've lost count. I've had it so many. Nonetheless, the microphone messiah is back with another episode of the BC, episode 366, the 7-year anniversary pod. For 7 years, we have never missed a week. I have been the constant in your ears, in your eardrums, giving you eargasms for 7 consecutive years, and I'm never going to stop. I'm joined by the former podcast champion, the guy who's been with me since day one-ish, BT, the Canadian Destroyer, Brandon Tanguma. Brandon, 7 years down, so many more to go. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. I'm doing fantastic. You know, you're the new champion. You won on a show you probably didn't even watch.
What do you mean? Clean sweep, as I do.
Then pop quiz. What did Joe Gacy put on the table in the hardcore whatever fucking match that was called?
I fell asleep during that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
What? Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners. Lola Vice cashed in her little contract. Didn't work out. Vicarious still the champ. Carmelo turned on Trick. He whooped that Trick. Hello. Come on now. Stuff was going down, man. Oh, but we're here to talk about a lot. A lot has gone on since we have last recorded. The wrestling world has been in a frenzy since Friday night. So before we get into that, 7 years, man, how do you feel?
I feel old because I remember walking home from SF or walking to my car from SF State, and you text me. It's like, oh, I'm doing this podcast thing. You want to come on whenever next week, next tomorrow? I was like, sure, why not? And I'm going to turn 30 in 5 months, so going to die soon.
I mean, come on, man. We've had a good ride. We've done some cool stuff, right?
Yeah, maybe got some more cool stuff waiting in the wings. A couple weeks, have to stay tuned, watch out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
We've done some cool things, man. The interviews and everything in the podcast championship and the Zoe being the first ever Bulletcast champion. A lot of cool stuff has been done here. We have a Hall of Fame and all that other stuff.
Speaking of feeling old, Starboy Charlie, I saw turn 21. The hell, I thought he was gonna be like 15 forever.
Right? Oh, he's 21 now. I thought he was like 23. Jeez. Wow. Okay. Well, happy birthday, Starboy Charlie. We were both his first interviews. There you go.
Yep.
I think he's due for
probably the last interview I've ever done on this podcast.
I think he's due for a return. I think he is. But no, thank you to everybody who's been an interview guest over the years. It means a lot. From all the big names, all the independent stars, the people coming up in this game. Thank you to the fans for listening. Our graphic designers, all the ones we've had over the years. Thank you. All the people who have been on the show, Katie, Baby Huey, Brian Tronic, Mitchell, Carlos, Sean, AJ, Flo. I know there's some other people in between that, but yeah, thank you to everybody who's been a part of it.
Who's the name of the one guy we did at your grandma's house? The one and done, my favorite guy ever.
Oh my God, what was that guy's name? Oh yeah, he sang the Firefly Funhouse.
R.I.P. Bray, drop the sound right now.
Yes,
we're really glad that you're our friends.
Yes, that one.
The never end.
Yeah, that one. Chris, the King of the Hill, my brother. He was on the BC for a quick little minute. Yeah, he was.
That was a good run. Month run. I had to drive up the hill to his house.
Yes.
One podcast. We did like a pay-per-view podcast there.
Yes. We did the 100th episode there, I think, too. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. A lot of fun. But so let's talk about SmackDown. So we're gonna break this up in parts. Roman Reigns comes out there. He cuts a promo, obliterates Seth Rollins, obliterates him. He says, "Let's talk about my little brother Seth Rollins." No pop, exactly. What kind of workhorse walks like this, starts gimping around, and where he disrespected the hell out of the World Heavyweight title. He's like, that's the loser bracket title. What else did he say? Seth, I work 10 times less than you, but I make 10 times more money than you. What do you want, Seth Rollins money or Tribal Chief money? He says, Cody, you can face the number 2 guy or you can face the number 1 guy. I'm not going to beg you. What are your thoughts on the Roman Reigns promo? That part of this.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic. He was just menacing and just full of himself like he should be. I don't know if there's some more context there because I think it's well known that, out of the Shield guys, I think Mox and Roman are pretty close. Mox and Seth are kind of close. Then Seth and Roman, obviously they're kind of 2 of the top guys in the company, but Roman's on a different level, as another level, as the t-shirt says. So I don't know
Levels above.
if there was some friendly or not so friendly jabs there, but I thought maybe his best heel promo in quite some time, just because he hasn't been there a lot and the bloodline's been kind of stuck in the mud since SummerSlam. So I thought it was really good stuff. I mean, overall, I know we're gonna break it down from different segments. I thought the segment was very good in many different parts, except for one specific part, which is the part that everyone got mad about.
Sorry, I was hydrating. Yes. And then the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, comes out. They showed Cody arriving to the building. He had Pharaoh with him and all these things. They went to commercial during his entrance because wanted to see what he was going to say. Roman tweeted out, "It's decision time, Cody." So Cody says he wants to take everything from him. The fans, the camera, the ring. He wants to take it all away from him. He clarifies, that is the title that I want. But he said, not at WrestleMania. Before what happened, that part, what were your thoughts?
Well, I guess it kind of bleeds into the next part. I don't know what the point of this was, of Cody coming out and then not, deferring the title match. There's been so many conflicting reports, so many, this was the Rock Roman was the plan the whole time. Oh, Cody was told he's facing Roman. Oh, this, that, and the other. So I don't know what the hell is the real story. Somewhere in the middle, there's the actual truth, but this is the part I didn't like. I didn't like, and they're in an impossible position, I think, which is why I don't understand, if you're going to do Rock and Roman, why did Cody win the Rumble? I get it. Punk got injured. Just have Punk win the Rumble. You can have him defer it, have Drew win it or something or another. Cody looked like such a punk. He looks like he's been talking about finishing his story for so long. And then he finally gets it. He was so over the top at the Rumble. It was like, okay, we're finally getting this. And then he just okay, I don't want this now, which is the antithesis of what his character is. He's been on this journey since he came back to the company.
I think maybe Cody versus Roman was the plan. I mean, you talk about it. I mean, we all felt it at the Rumble. He's pointing at Roman while his song is playing. You took my dreams, but not my name. We all felt that. But then I guess they found out Punk was hurt. So maybe they had to call the audible for Dwayne once Punk got hurt. Maybe that's the case.
From what I've gathered, it seems as though Rock, when he was on the board, it seems as though when he went to the TKO board and he was a part of it, this was a little bit a part of the plan. It was always going to be Rock and Roman at WrestleMania.
So then why would Cody win the Royal Rumble?
That's what I'm saying. It makes absolutely zero sense. I know there's been, conflicting reports of Cody being told he was facing Roman, the week of the Royal Rumble, but WrestleMania 18, The Rock learned from the GOAT of this, Hulk Hogan, when, he turned that Toronto crowd against him. And I think The Rock he learned that day that he should think for himself. And I think this is the biggest power play and the biggest kind of political move I think we've ever seen The Rock do.
I don't think that's what happened. I mean, we could be going into a triple threat scenario. I think that's because, okay, so Cody says not at WrestleMania. Rock comes out. He says something and Cody shakes his hand. Cody walks off. They film Cody walking away so you can get that sympathy. And then Rock and Roman finally have their first stare down. It set the internet in a frenzy. It started the "We Want Cody" chant on Monday night. Rocky sucks chants. It's just crazy. what you call it? Rock's daughter was receiving death threats because of this. I mean, it's just some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard. It's wild. I've never seen the IWC react like this. I mean, I've seen them react crazy, but this is a first. What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, The Rock, it was an intense stare down. It's been something we've been waiting for a while, but then it just got so muddied with the whole Cody situation. He, like I said, he got cucked by The Rock, and it makes Cody look like a chump. But then this is like a completely like people are going to compare this to the Daniel Bryan stuff. This is completely different. Like the company still wants Cody to be the guy. Cody is going to get the match eventually. You know, Rock is on a completely different level than what Batista was back in WrestleMania 30, but I think it's just kind of like just a combination of so many different things. You know, Rock wanting to come in, wanting this match. It has to be WrestleMania. His schedule lining up perfectly because of the writer strike and all that stuff. And you know, maybe Rock is either full of himself or kind of insulated to where he doesn't know the Cody situation, or he thinks you know, he can turn the crowd. He can, you know, just because I'm here, the crowd isn't going to care about the Cody match. So
I mean, well,
it's a lot of stuff going on right now.
It is a lot of stuff. Rock was on Pat McAfee this morning calling the fans the Cody crybabies, the ones that have been reacting absolutely bonkers to this. I mean, go find that clip. That's some funny stuff there. Hollywood Rock may be back. I don't know, but does the company do this every 10 years? Is this just the thing they do? I mean, look at WrestleMania 10. It was sort of a triple threat scenario. You know, Luger and Brett won, so they have the two separate singles matches. WrestleMania 20, you have Benoit, Hunter, and Shawn. 30, you have Daniel Bryan, Orton, and Batista. And now WrestleMania 40, could we see Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes versus The Rock? Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. It's as you said, it's been like an unwritten tradition now to have these kind of triple threat esque matches at the 10 WrestleManias, but I don't know what they do, because if it is Cody and Rock and Roman, once again, it's not the same as Daniel Bryan. I think if Cody goes in there, wins the title, like yes, it's going to be this big moment. He beat Roman. He finally beat the streak or whatever. It's just not going to feel the same. And so I think it's like a consolation prize. And you know, we're taping this before the press conference. You know, we'll do a special podcast after the press conference. So, you know, we'll get our thoughts on what happens. But honestly, I think the best case scenario is you do Rock Roman, kind of plug your nose. Maybe we turn Rock heel and Roman is kind of pseudo baby face, but he can turn back heel against Cody. And then we have that match that we have Cody Roman at SummerSlam. And selfishly, I hope it is in Las Vegas, because that's where they're doing the press conference right now because of the Super Bowl, but I also hope either we get a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania announcement that it's coming to Vegas.
That would be nice. That would be very nice. Yeah, this has been interesting, man. It's been an interesting few days. I mean, people didn't even give it time to breathe. It's been wild. To the other Royal Rumble winner. So Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky were, you know, in the locker room saying, you know, Bayley's done. They walk out. Bayley, you know, sees them. They go out there, and Bayley says something in Japanese. It kind of stuns them, like, yeah, I know what you guys have been saying. And so it leads to a beatdown. Bayley has a lead pipe, clears house, and she chooses Io Sky for WrestleMania. Bayley versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 40.
I thought the in-ring segment was really good. I thought Bayley, you know, came across likable despite what they did on Raw, where she wasn't all that likable. And you know, the locker room scene where they just happen to finally speak English, you know, and say whatever, you know, we're gonna, you know, we'll take out Bayley basically in English when they've been speaking Japanese this whole time, and then you just happen to catch Bayley lurking in the background. I thought that was a little contrived. I think it kind of played their hand too much. I think you could have got the same reaction, same type of thing without being so over the top with that. But
yeah, I mean, I've heard other people be like, "Oh, they should have just said something in Japanese," and Bayley comes out then, and then she speaks Japanese in the segment, and then you're like, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute, she understands what they're saying." I've heard that, but have you noticed something wrong? Triple H and Shawn Michaels they've been booking kind of callbacks to their careers. I mean, this you got Triple H Batista vibes with the Bailey thing, and then we'll talk about NXT Vengeance Day and all that. But have you kind of noticed that?
Yeah, the reports out of just straight up Shawn Michaels saying like Carmelo Hayes is me. I'm making Carmelo Hayes turn into, you know, 97, 96 Shawn Michaels. So
I don't know.
that
What he did on Tuesday night was 2005, Sean.
yeah, I've you learn from history, and I think Triple H definitely has a certain style. We go if you go back to NXT, you probably could see some patterns and some things that he did NXT that are leaking into the main roster now. And he does do a lot of, focus on one thing, look at this hand while there's, something else going on with the other hand, which I think he does a good job with that. Like sometimes they'll do like a backstage interview, and like I think even Damage Control when they weren't supposed to be there on that Monday, or they were going to be there for the Royal Rumble, they just walked in the background. I thought that was cool. And they do things like that. But this one was a little too like Vince McMahon. The audience is too dumb to pick up what we're throwing down, so we're going to throw it in your face.
I think it's just a callback to his career. That's what I think. Nonetheless, Bailey has made her choice. Sure, that match is going to be great. Braun Breaker and Jade Cargill on SmackDown. Braun Breaker, says he has a meeting with Adam Pearce on Monday. Hasn't decided what he's going to do yet. Jade Cargill, she appeared on SmackDown, so good stuff. Naomi's officially on SmackDown as well.
Yeah, good for them. Braun did the thing on Raw, so we're definitely gonna have to wait and see what he's doing. Jade, I think either, Braun and or Jade, they can go to either brand, and I think they'll work out. They're kind of loading up on Raw right now. They've got a lot of people, quote unquote, signing to Raw, but it is a 3-hour show, so it would make sense. But SmackDown is still kind of the A show with it being on Fox, so um,
We'll see.
let us see.
It's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton, the former NXT Women's Champion, is officially a member of the Blue Brand. Congrats to her.
Yeah, good signing. I think she's really improved. That Becky feud really kind of brought this out of her. She was more just like a mean girl's caricature, and then she kind of turned into more of a full-fledged heel. And if Bailey is going to beat Io at WrestleMania and she's going to turn full babyface, I think Tiffany Stratton could be a really good heel for her.
Yes. Outside the ring, Brian Keith has been signed to All Elite Wrestling. Congrats to BK. I'd like to call him a friend. Short, we've been on multiple shows together. He's a good brother, man. I'm happy for him. He's putting the work. I'm glad to see guys, reach this stage, man. I really am.
Yeah, good for him. Good worker. Would be nice if he like would win a match in AEW before they do this whole pomp and circumstance signing.
Maybe that'll start. I mean, you've heard my criticism.
Because if this was a true sport like AEW does, you bring in a person, I don't know how many matches he's had, like 5 matches, he loses every single one of them. You're not going to sign him. Like at least just have him win a match if you're going to do this.
They lost the real sports like feel quite a long time ago, so it is what it is. Cash Wheeler could be facing up to 5 years in prison if he is convicted due to the handheld gun thing that happened back in August.
Yeah, kind of forgot this was a thing because it just kind of happened. They had like that tag match, and there was like a bunch of what's going to happen, and then he just kind of disappeared. But this always happens. Everyone's there's the salacious headlines of he could possibly get 5 years in prison when I think this is his first time, or no? Does he have like a DUI? I forget. So maybe I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on this podcast, but I would suspect he's not going to be in prison at all, or maybe he'll spend 30 days or something. I don't know.
That is a possibility. I don't know. Hopefully everything is okay for him. As I look for this right here to confirm this thing here. Where is it at? I had the story. I really did. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, ESPN, Fox Sports, and TNT Sports are going to be coming together to create one media outlet. What are your thoughts on that for live sports?
Crazy. It's almost like for the viewers, it'd be really great if there was just a place for like all these media companies just like came together in like one package, and you could just have that one package and just watch like everything you want.
Yes.
What a
Yes.
concept.
It's gonna be no, that was cable. It's gonna be happening in the fall. So I guess subscribers to Disney Plus, Hulu, and or Max will be able to access the new Fox Sports, ESPN, and Warner Brothers Discovery service. It will be made available via a new app. Subscribers will have access to linear networks, including ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SECN, ACCN, ESPN News, ABC, Fox, FS1, FS2, BTN, TNT, TBS, True TV, as well as ESPN Plus. The service will include content from pro football, NFL, UFL, basketball, NBA, WNBA, baseball, MLB, hockey, NHL, college sports, thousands of games, multiple events, multiple sports, AAC, Big 10, Big 12, Big East, NCAA events. You'll have golf on there. You'll have Grand Slam tennis. They'll have cycling, soccer, combat, UFC, Top Rank, auto, Formula One, NASCAR, 24 hours of Lens Mans, and so much more. Pricing has not been announced, but it'll be launching in 2024 in the fall. So, I mean, didn't hear anything about any wrestling on there, but you can only hope that that could be where AEW will be going for their premium live events, their pay-per-views.
Hopefully, one of these days. But I mean, I do suspect AEW gets re-signed with Time Warner on TBS TNT, and yeah, like as you know, I was joking, but I like we kind of saw this coming, honestly. Like what, like 10 years ago when the WWE came around and everyone was getting their own streaming service, we were like, oh, eventually one of these days everything's going to be so separated that just everything's coming back together, and here we are. Right back where we started.
Here we are, right back where we started.
But then you still have there's CBS and there's still Peacock, which are still two different things. So then, if you want to get all the sports, you have to get this thing, and then you also have to get Paramount Plus and Peacock. So still a bit ways away for this imaginary concept of all the media companies coming together in one package. But
yeah,
maybe it'll happen one day.
Yeah, Scott D'Amore fired from TNA. People have been posting their thoughts on this. He was a big focal part of TNA, and to kind of just get rid of the guy, I'm like, that doesn't really make sense for all the work he did for the brand and the company.
Yeah, this is really shocking. He was kind of the face of TNA, on screen and behind the scenes. And this was kind of a shock to kind of everyone involved. This seemed like a high up decision from Anthem, and I don't understand it. We don't really have too much news or reasoning behind it. I think they want like an Anthem person in charge of TNA.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I guess Scott D'Amore came to the firing from Scott D'Amore came directly from the Anthem owner Lynn Asper. Yeah, it says TNA parent company Anthem Sports and Entertainment will be stepping in to take a much larger role in the day-to-day management and strategies of the promotion. TNA will now be folded into Anthem's entertainment arm going forward, as opposed to existing in its own corner of the company. The idea is that it will allow TNA to become more embraced and more by Anthem and have a stronger synergy in order to maximize what each side has to offer each other. Yeah, as a part of the integration, D'Amore has been removed from power and is gone effective immediately.
That sounds like good corporate speak, but then what it also sounds to me is non-wrestling people trying to do wrestling, and historically that has not been panned out well.
Yeah. This is something. People are very angry about this. Very, very
I
angry.
mean, kind of as they should. Like Scott D'Amore was kind of like the face of TNA coming back, and it's barely got off the ground, and then they just kick him to the curb. Like you couldn't even like demote him. You had to just straight up fire him. I don't understand the reasoning for this.
I don't understand the reasoning for any of it either. I do not. I do not.
But all this TNA will still be a thing in like 25 years.
Of course. It's never going away. It is never, ever, ever going away. All right. Moving on from that, Brian Pillman has a WWE Legends deal, so new merchandise. We can expect toys, possibly even a return to the video games. Yep.
Good for it's been a long time coming. Obviously with his widow Melanie, she didn't have the best relationship with WWE because of, putting her on screen the day after he passed away. And unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago. So now with Brian Jr. with the company, it made a lot of sense for the, Pillman estate, Pillman likeness to be back in WWE.
Yes, 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 yes. Moving on from that, Inside the Ring NXT Vengeance Day. What were your thoughts on the show while I go step away for a second?
Well, while Philip goes and makes whatever luscious dish he has to go make, Vengeance Day, I thought it was a pretty good show. As you guys know, I don't really watch NXT on a daily basis or weekly basis anymore. But I tuned into the show and I thought it was pretty good. They were in a smaller venue. I believe they're in Texas somewhere. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But you could tell it was a smaller venue, but it was filled. The crowd was lively for it. And I probably should pull up the match card just to kind of go through it. I talked about the hardcore match thing with Joe Gacy and Dijak. I thought that thing was dumb. It was just played for laughs. It wasn't even like there was some okay moves and there's some Harding and stuff, but it just was meh. Um, oh yeah, tag team match. I did miss the tag team match, the opening match with Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker taking on Trick and Mello, but it seemed like it was good and Braun, winning a match when he's presumably going up to the main roster. So, it's a Dusty Cup, so it doesn't really, it means a little bit, but it doesn't mean anything like he has to stay there and defend it. Women's match, Live Valkyrie, Roxanne Perez. I thought they, were had some good work going on, and then Lola Vice came in to, kind of cash in her breakout tournament victory. So it's almost like a Money in the Bank opportunity. And that was fine. Match was only 13 minutes, so it didn't go too long. I think if Lyra and Roxanne were in there for a full blown match, they probably could have done some really good stuff. Obafemi just absolutely killed Dragon Lee, and Dragon Lee just sold his ass off. I thought that was good stuff. And then the main event, I mean, Ilya Dragunov, Trick Williams, fantastic match. I mean, Trick still has his deficiencies in the ring, but Ilya can get a good match in anybody. And I thought this was really good. Just a fantastic match. Maybe Trick's best match of his career.
Possibly, yeah.
And then, as we said, the heel turn from Mello at the end sets up, a match between them at Stand and Deliver. So,
Yes,
yes. Some ups and downs, but I thought it really closed out strong. If you haven't seen it, see the Ilya Trick Williams match.
No, yes, the Ilya Trick Williams match was great. The finish, I mean, it was like two guys who had just enough in the tank to hit their big move. It just depended on who got there first, and that was it with Ilya. What's his move called again?
He has like three different moves, but it was like
He has like the H bomb with the forearm, and then
and this was like the torpedo.
The torpedo. I mean, that's it's simple. It's just like a running headbutt, but it works, for him. I love it. Whoever's going to challenge him at the WrestleMania NXT show is going to be killer. That's going to be fantastic. I think Roadblock is next. And actually, you know what? I think you do Trick and Mellow there. I think you do Trick and Mellow at Roadblock, and winner gets winner gets Ilya at Stand and Deliver, and then you have Trick win the title at Stand and Deliver. You have him stand up and deliver. It's just my thought. That's just my thought.
No, I think you do it at Stand and Deliver. I mean, you could do a quick turnaround and like Mello screws Dragunov out of the title, and then Trick and Mello have a match for the title. But I don't know about having the Trick Mello blow off or a match at Roadblock.
It is something. Windy City Riot is going down for New Japan. Jack Perry has been announced as going down on March 12th. So coming up here in a few months, what do you think Jack Perry is going to be doing? Who do you think he's going to be facing?
Looks like he might be, doing some. Well, not 8 Kid, because I think 8 Kid is a heel, but it's gonna be interesting to see, what his character is. He hasn't wrestled since the All In, but I'll keep an eye out, see what he's doing. I just hope he doesn't lean too hard into this whole, CM Punk, I'm the guy who drove him out character, but
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Going back to NXT real quick. NXT, the Carmelo promo, I thought it was very, very good. I mean, he basically did Shawn Michaels when he was in Montreal in 2005. Talked trash. When Brett's music hit, he looked shocked. When Trick's music hit, he looked shocked. And it's not happening. Booker T's singing his song next to his hospital bed. I thought that was a nice bar. Thoughts on the Mello promo before we move on?
Really good. Allegedly, there was just too many FU Mello chants that they were going to take the show off the air, which makes zero sense to me. But I mean, it's cable, like whatever. But yeah, really good stuff from him. I do wonder what's the synergy. Like, there should be more synergy between NXT and the main roster now because when he was on SmackDown, it seemed like he was a face, and then you could clearly see he was probably turning heel at NXT. So I don't know how this is going to translate onto SmackDown, but yeah, just fantastic stuff from Mello here on NXT.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, moving on. Let's go over to the fan mail. Let's see what do we have here. All right. Nigerian Prince. First and foremost, happy Black History Month. So Cody really won the Rumble to step aside to The Rock to let him have his match. What if Rock beats Roman? Cody said he wants to take everything from Roman, but lets Rock get the shot. It's like Cody said, I'm gonna make you lose everything, but I'm not going to be the one to do it because I can't. That doesn't make any sense. It makes him look weak.
And that's what I've been saying. Do you think there's a possibility that we get the 2-for-1, like we've been maybe speculating, Roman Rock night 1 and then Roman Cody night 2?
But
I just don't understand why, because Cody made such an emphasis on saying not at WrestleMania. So now if he's, walks that
the
back,
night after, I
no,
don't
you're gonna promote that match and it's gonna, you're gonna sell tickets, you're gonna, drive cock sales, you want to do all that. You're not
Hey,
just gonna
hey,
throw
hey,
it
hey,
on.
hey, hey, hey,
You're
hey.
not just gonna throw it on, the SmackDown after WrestleMania
Okay, we do it the Raw after WrestleMania.
or the Raw after WrestMania. But
Oh my God.
Roman doesn't show up to Raw.
Why can't Cody win it in the Garden? Wouldn't that make more sense? Wouldn't that be so poetic? Can we do a pay-per-view in the Garden?
Well, they got Saudi and they got TKO money now, so they can rent out the Garden for a weekend, maybe.
I mean, if they do it. They do the what you call it, the day after Christmas every year. Just run a pay-per-view in the Garden real quick. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. All right, let's see. In Brightest Day X. Oh Jesus.
Mr. X. Oh, I know Mr. X probably's got some things to say about this Cody situation.
Yeah, he sent some stuff last week that I did not read, so I'll read it all. Am I the only one who thinks that Hangman looks like a modern day Magnum TA with the mustache? This is what he said last week. Yeah, he kind of looks like the Butcher a little bit. I don't know why. Could Cody possibly challenge both Roman and Seth to be a single unified champion, or is that just wishful thinking? It would hurt the credibility of the World Heavyweight title to just create it and then just have it unified again. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, and then it also kind of devalues Cody's championship win if he were to win the Seth one first and then win the Roman one. Like, it takes that, shine off of him winning his first main single, world championship match or title at in WWE. So it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things wrong with that, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do that.
He also says, will Eva Rain become an in-ring competitor, or will she just stick with these administrative characters throughout her WWE career? I don't know. I mean, probably just to get the mic skills ready. I mean, I'm sure she'll be an in-ring competitor. And I want to say this, for those of you that were sending her death threats over this Rock stuff, what's wrong with you people? You people disgust me. Wrestling fans, we can be the most loyal fans in the world. We can also be the most disgusting. Like why, guys? Like this is professional wrestling. Like, come on, let's get real. Like, let's stop. If you were serious about it, you're disgusting. If you were joking, sending death threats, you're still disgusting. Stop. Don't ever do that. That's just weird.
Yeah,
Don't,
not cool. Let's not send death threats to people, anybody.
yeah, let's not do that at
especially
all.
especially young women. But
Yes.
another page out of the Hulk Hogan playbook. The week the Rockets signed to TKO, the Rock's daughter just happens to be the figurehead, the NXT general manager.
Well, this
So it
has
looks
been
like
kind of in play for a
she's
while.
getting the Brooke Hogan treatment.
No, this has been in play for a while. Let's not.
Yeah, long-term storytelling. Have the cult girl be the leader of a wrestling promotion.
Yes, they wrote this 6 months ago. You don't pay attention. I watched the product. Anyway, this is new. He says, congratulations on 7 years. It's been an honor to be a part of this journey with you. Here's to the future. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. He says, is WWE sacrificing storytelling with Cody finishing the story for the box office draw of The Rock? Look, I said it. What draws more money, Cody or The Rock? It's just simple. Cody, he's great. He's the baby face of baby faces. People say he's in Hogan territory. But look, it's the biggest match you can do. Roman Reigns versus The Rock. It is literally the biggest WrestleMania match you can do. Might be the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. I can honestly stand by that. Hell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, he stands by it too. So I mean,
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of like just the perfect storm of everything. You have The Rock. The Rock probably thinks of himself as a WrestleMania main eventer, not a SummerSlam main eventer. And like we said for the past 6 months when this was kind of creeping up in a possibility, if you have The Rock and if you have The Rock at WrestleMania, you have to do it. Now, I don't think we would have suspected that this whole Cody backlash would have been as strong as it is. But on the other hand, I think that's also a good thing that so many people want Cody to win. I think this makes Cody stronger because of that. Because people like Cody, they do the whole whoa
okay,
and the reaction stuff, but this definitely has, kind of turned him up a notch and it's helped him.
okay. Let's say he gets the main event and he loses. Then what? Then what?
Cody, that is pronouns, pal.
Yes, Cody. Then what?
I mean, that's the other thing is like if we were to go back and have him lose at the Royal Rumble, he kind of has to look inwards and just be like, I guess I'm not finishing the story of WrestleMania. Like he crushes, the whole story is him winning the title. It's not really winning the title at WrestleMania. Like, yes, that would make it bigger and more grandiose. But if he lost at Royal Rumble, he's a little sad boy. And then you have, whoever Drew trolling him or something or another. You have him do that at WrestleMania, Rock Roman, you're fine. And then we get around to him figuring some way to get in at SummerSlam. That's great.
Well, I
It just
mean,
kind of goes back to the Royal Rumble win. I just don't know what the reasoning for him winning the Royal Rumble was.
I don't know. We'll see. Cody posted on his IG story, "I've made my decision." So let's things are heating up over here. He in Brightest the X also says when Punk comes back, will he instantly put back in the title picture like he was, or if so, and if so, which title does he go after? I don't know. See, I don't know. I heard this though. I heard this on Cheap Heat. What if Punk what if he's kind of involved in the Cody story a little bit leading up to WrestleMania? Like, what if he comes back for a promo and says, "Don't let Dwayne take your spot like he took mine"? Like, what if he does something like that? What are your thoughts?
That'd be an interesting meta promo. Um, I think especially with his injury history now at this point, I think you have to bring Punk back and what would that kind of leave him to maybe be back before SummerSlam? And I think they set the good groundwork with Seth and Drew. So I would say whoever doesn't have the title, you have him face that person. So, obviously,
Or he gets to the title the way he's gotten to it the first two times. Money in the Bank. I know.
yeah, but that's in July.
I
That's a quick turnaround.
When he's supposed to be back in June?
Well, I guess I for whatever reason I'm kind of thinking of like WrestleMania, but I don't know. Well, how long was he gone? Well, I guess that was like more of a suspension because the All Out stuff happens in September. He
And he
came
doesn't
back in
come back
like
till
June,
yeah.
but I think he probably could have came back earlier than that.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, exactly. So
But
February, March, April, May, June, July. What comes what Money in the Bank's in July, right? Yeah.
cutting it close, but he probably can pull off some bells and whistles to where he doesn't have to do that much.
Yeah, doesn't have to do a lot. Yeah, you see. And then lastly he says, "Is the newest WWE lawsuit a Pandora's box for the company? It seems like every week more horrible news comes out." I don't know about that. If you want to hear any comments about that, you can listen to another podcast. Um, moving on, Monday Night Raw. So Seth Rollins comes out there and he comes out there. He says, "Oh, well, there's the pop." He talks about the things Roman said about him. Cody comes out there and says his spiel, and then Drew McIntyre comes out there and Drew, like, Cody, you have to finish the story. You have to, because Drew wants to go after the World Heavyweight Championship. And Drew said, "Well, nobody wants to face Roman for the title anymore because they already know the finish. His family's going to interfere." What are your thoughts on all this?
I, the Cody thing was very interesting and strange because he like didn't really say a word, but the the McIntyre stuff just absolutely fantastic. He's just been an absolute heater as of late, and I thought he was fantastic, just going after Cody, being just so disingenuous, and just be like, "Look, Cody, come on, you got to stand up for yourself and go after Roman," and finish a story. And I thought it was so great. The t-shirt thing, I think that's a little corny. You're playing off of the meme and then you don't have the rights to the actual meme, so you have to do like a different one, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I think just Drew's honestly maybe doing like the best work of his career right now, and he's doing it at the perfect time. He's like that, that athlete who's on a contract year and he's, balling out and he's trying to get the most possible. We don't know if Drew signed it or not, but with the work he's doing, he's definitely driving up his costs.
I'm on a contract year.
Are you putting up Drew McIntyre numbers right now?
Shoo, man, I don't know, bro. Let's see who finishes their story first, me or Cody. Let's see. It's some stuff. If I finish my story, then the money will go up. If I don't, then oh man, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this Cody Rhodes was attacked after a live event over the weekend by Shinsuke Nakamura. They posted the clip and people were like, "Oh no, we're doing this. We're doing this." People are like, "Is this what Cody's gonna do at WrestleMania?" Calm down. It was a bull rope match on Monday Night Raw. The mist into the eyes. This is the only time we're going to see any semblance of Cody bleeding, big air quotes, on WWE television with the red mist. He beat Nakamura, by the way, in the bull rope match.
Probably. It looks like blood. Cody can get the illusion without actually doing it.
Bro,
Who knows?
Whenever he wrestles for that WWE title, if he bleeds, he's winning that. That's going to be the sign.
And they've done like a good job. Well, they don't really do bleeding like at all, but Brock would occasionally bleed, maybe accidentally on purpose. And when the Cody Roman match happens, I would not be shocked if he does bleed.
Yes.
Whether he pulls a Brett and blades off to the side, which I feel like Triple H would kind of have like a little twinkle in his eye, even though maybe he would have to find him because of the TKO wouldn't like that. But
I mean, Triple H is one of the best bleeders of all time.
I think Triple H would maybe chastise Cody in front of Nick Khan or whoever, and then behind closed doors, be like, "Attaboy, Cody."
That a boy, yeah, yeah. What else? Yeah. So Drew McIntyre attacks Cody Rhodes after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, of setting up, it's all going to be moot after the press conference today, but they're kind of setting up a possible triple threat or something with Seth, Drew, and Cody, and it's very interesting. Cody can do good stuff in his character. Drew obviously doing the best stuff of his career, and Seth just kind of there, especially with his injury, can't do too much, but it's just setting up a lot of possibilities, and I think they were playing into the reaction and just being like, okay, they're going so heavy-handed with this world title scene that Cody's going to wrestle here, and we're not getting the thing, and we're just make people more and more angry. So I don't know. This might just be a bluff, to be honest.
I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. What are your thoughts on the whole? We want Cody and the signs and all that other stuff.
Like I said, I was a little surprised that the reaction was that strong because it's there's Twitter, and we can kind of get in our little wrestling internet echo chamber of just everyone kind of yelling about the same things. But the people who go to the crowd, the people in the actual crowd are much different than the however many thousand people are on Twitter. But there was the Saturday house show. They were booing The Rock. We had Die Rocky Die, or Rocky sucks chants on Monday, something we haven't heard in like nearly 30 years. And I don't know how much of this is like a meme or people actually feel this way or they're just doing it to do it, but it's a tricky situation. A lot of landmines that The Rock is going to have to navigate. And like I said, he might feel he can do it, but I don't know if he can without turning full blown heel and being Hollywood Rock again.
You really don't think he can do it?
I mean, I think he can do it. Chips Ahoy, what do you think? She thinks The Rock can do it.
Oh, she thinks The Rock can do it. She thinks The Rock can do it. I don't know. Cody Rhodes, after his promo, or he cut a promo after Monday Night Raw went off the air, he said, "Ever since I was a little boy who grew up loving everything about pro wrestling, for you to want me is special because I have always wanted you." So, I don't know, man. We'll see. We shall see. Moving on from that, Nia and Rhea's made official in Australia. So yeah, the two first Australian-born world champions in WWE are going to go at it in Australia. Nia was the first Australian-born world champion in WWE, I might add.
It's a interesting matchup. You put Rhea in the
Man,
babyface
take the
role.
title off her.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Man, let's do this.
With it being a straight up singles match, Nia and Rhea, I would presume Rhea, beats Nia. Maybe we get some sort of schmoz to maybe set up a triple threat, but then, I mean, it feels like we booked like 3 or 4 triple threat matches at WrestleMania at this point. WrestleMania 40 might turn into WrestleMania 2000 with all these multi-person matches, but
we don't need to do all that. We don't need to do all that.
I think it's just a straightforward. They've been telling the story for a little while. Rhea can, body slam Nia in front of 1,000 people, 500,000 people in the Silver Dome in, New Orleans, Australia, brother. But I think it's just straightforward and Rhea wins.
We'll see. Becky is going to the Chamber elimination, the Elimination Chamber. She defeated Shayna Baszler to do so. Winner will face the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber will go on to face whoever the Women's World Champion is at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, kind of came out of nowhere with the kind of weak, lower level women's division they have on Raw. It kind of just seems like Becky's the only person to win. And, that's fine. If you just kind of say Becky is going to win this match. So tune in and watch
but
Becky.
Liv came back to get revenge on Rhea. So,
I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't be shocked if like someone else beats her and maybe Liv kind of veers off, and whether that's in the tag team division or, like a third level women's feud on Raw, which is something we don't really get.
Yeah. What else happened? Jey Uso answered the call to Gunther. Gunther kind of flamed up Jey. I'm gonna beat you so bad you're gonna go back to the times where or I'm gonna beat you worse than your family ever did. I'm gonna beat you so bad that you're gonna wish that you could go back to the times where people couldn't tell you and your brother apart. So I said this months ago, Jey Uso to take the title off of Gunther. Is this where we're going? Is this gonna happen in Perth, Australia? I'm here for it.
Yeah, it could happen at Perth, could happen at WrestleMania, but
no, we need Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania. Stop playing.
Yeah, I mean, with Brock out of the picture, seemingly that's where they were going to go at WrestleMania. I think Jey and Gunther could be a really good match at Australia. I still kind of want to see Sammy and Gunther at WrestleMania. I think it's just a perfect, monster underdog matchup, and Sammy doesn't need to win for it to be a fantastic match. So, yeah.
Well, Sammy, he had the thing on Raw where he said he can fight like an underdog, but he's now a contender. So a lot of things are going down. DIY wins the tag team turmoil. They defeat New Day, Creed Brothers, and Imperium. Excellent tag team contest. So now DIY go to SmackDown to face British Strong Style, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate. Winner of that gets a future undisputed tag team title shot.
A little shocked that DIY won this just because they lost their tag title match a couple weeks ago, but wouldn't be shocked if Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate get the win, just because Judgment Day haven't been on SmackDown at all, despite being the tag team champions of SmackDown. So I think that's what I suspect here, and it should be a really good match. Kind of a throwback, like 2017 NXT tag match.
Yes. AEW Dynamite, Swerve and Hangman have a 30-minute draw just to decide who would face Samoa Joe at Revolution for the world title. So it's gonna be a triple threat now. The draw, I guess. They don't do a lot of triple threats, so this is, I think this is the only second triple threat match for the world championship. What was the first one? Like Kenny, Pac, and Orange Cassidy, but back during the COVID era. So this is something. Is Hangman Page the best trilogy wrestler in AEW? The Danielson trilogy. This trilogy.
Oh, he's been there long enough to where he can have a bunch of different trilogies. But I thought the match was really, really good. Just great work for 29 minutes and 59 seconds of it. And then they did the draw finish, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall that it was gonna be a triple threat. And I was like, okay, let's not do this. If you're gonna do a triple threat, can we do it some other way instead of this kind of contrived? Oh, it just happens to be a draw. And that's what they did. They did the draw. And the other thing is, it's more of a technical thing. They did the 5-minute call out, which puts in the back of your mind, okay, this could be a draw. And then they just didn't do another call at all. They didn't do the 1 minute call, 2 minute call, 30-second call, 5 second call. They didn't do any of those. They just did the 5 minute call and that was it. Which, if you're going to do a draw, a 30-minute draw, to rep the drama, I think you have to do those calls because it kind of gets the crowd more invested. Like, oh, it's almost going to be over. We got to, we rush to the finish line. Instead, it was just kind of like a downer that it got cut right when it was kind of hitting his crescendo when Swerve hit his stomp, I believe, and he went to go get he got the 2 count, but it just happened. The bell rang before the 3. And, Swerve, the babyface, asks for 5 more minutes. Hangman, presumably turning heel, says no. And then Tony Khan talks to Tony Schiavone, Tony's. Then he says that, I forget what the wording is, but it almost made it seem like they were gonna do the extension, but then they didn't, and then they just said it's gonna be a triple threat match at Revolution, which the live crowd is gonna crap all over because they want to see a finish of the match, and you're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna get a winner, but not a Revolution. Not tonight, Phoenix. We're gonna have a triple threat match at Revolution, and then obviously the crowd crapped all over it. So match was fantastic, but I thought the kind of finish and the kind of aftermath wasn't the greatest, except for the obvious turn with Swerve asking for the 5 more minutes and Hangman walking away like a little baby.
It is what it is. AEW Big Business is happening March 13th in the TD Garden in Boston. So,
In Boston.
yeah. Is Mercedes Moné showing up?
They're just giving her the full CM Punk treatment, and no disrespect to her, I don't think she's on that level, but it will be interesting to see how close to that level she is.
They said this is the biggest, a great day and a big night and the greatest night in AEW history and all these things. Are there more people showing up, or is it just Mercedes? Now, look, I wanted her to go back to WWE. I've been skeptical of talent booking there, especially people of color. But AEW, I've talked my issue about AEW. I kind of did it before it was the popular thing to do nowadays. But look, I have friends there. Like I just said, BK, Hobbs. So I'm happy people have a place to work and a platform like that. But I hope it's handled right. I hope her booking is handled the way it's supposed to be. If you're gonna bring her in and treat her like this level of a star, her booking needs to match that.
The AEW women's division, outside of kind of like that Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa era.
Where's Britt Baker?
Well, if you want to see Britt Baker, tune into Mostly Sports at 7 a.m. Pacific time on the Mostly Sports YouTube channel. She'll be there in Las Vegas talking to Brandon Walker and Mark Titus.
Wow. Okay, there we go.
So she's out there in Las Vegas doing football stuff while she's not doing anything on AEW television.
She's going to show up to the WrestleMania press conference.
Maybe, but
it's going to be her and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Oh God. Oh Jesus. I'm sorry.
Okay. I set the over under in my head at 10,500 tickets. You taking the over under on that for Boston?
They'll probably do like 7.
Yeah, I mean they had a decent house at Phoenix last night for a pretty big show, but
they might do 7,500.
It was only like 6,000. And that is the Phoenix Suns arena, so it is a comparable NBA size arena to what they're trying to do here in Boston.
I don't know. We'll see. A lot of great matches have happened in the TD Garden. A lot of great stuff. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Takeshita defeated Le Champion.
Kind of forgot this was like a feud. That was even a feud at this point because they did the whole Jericho Kenny thing. Don Callis and his family was kind of hot, and then they just put them on Rampage to just have squash matches forever, and we just forgot about them, and now they're here, and Takeshita won, so good for him.
Yeah, Chris Jericho brought back Jericho on his cruise. I popped for that. That's the most exciting news I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, Takeshita has 2 wins against Kenny Omega and a win against Chris Jericho, and yet we don't really care about him.
Now, just put what title does Orange Cassidy? Does Orange Cassidy still have that title?
He does. He has the International Championship, and he's going to face Roderick Strong for a Revolution.
Well, yeah,
Eventually, one of these days.
put it on Takeshita. Let's just do that. Sting and Darby Allin defeat Starks and Big Bill. They're the AEW Tag Team Champions. Sting has won a title in every promotion he's been in except for WWE. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Sting. It was a tornado match, so they were able to put a lot of bells and whistles, and it wouldn't be a Sting tag match if he didn't jump off the balcony, and that's what he did. It was a good match. Darby does his stuff, Sting picks his spots, and they won the championship. Big crowd reaction for them, good for them. And then the Young Bucks came out all dressed in white, Nicholas and Matthew, and Darby gets busted open. He just bleeds all over both of them. So it was a very strong visual to end the show, and adds a good hook for this match. Makes it a little more personal, actually makes some stakes involved. You add the titles to it. And I think there's going to be genuine, discussion on what to do. Do you have Sting retire as champion, or do you have the
Go out on your back, brother?
Yeah, you have the new look Bucks, beat them and, send them off into the sunset.
Do it and let them be 3-time tag champs. Yeah, I'll say why not. All right, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much. We will be back with the podcast tomorrow to recap the press conference. We're gonna do there's been a lot of emergency podcasts. I don't think we're gonna call it that. It'll just be another podcast. We'll be around for like 15 minutes to talk about whatever happens at this WrestleMania press conference. Thank you guys so much. As always, be safe and stay dangerous.
If anything happens, we might just blow this out of proportion. Nothing happens.
Well, we'll still talk about it. Be safe and stay dangerous.
Turn us on if the feeling is right. Every opinion now comes from the heart. No time we move with a part. We on the radio, it's wrestling. Time's aggression. Here is the feeling in the pool. Get the lesson. And if you want to prove it to you now, here's the feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it. Moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage. And everything we do, turning the page. Nobody doesn't like us. The feeling when we move, we are excited. Elite podcasting. I know you like it. Yeah, the bullet cast, fearless. The bullet cast, fearless. The bullet cast, fearless. Elite podcasting. We are the bullet cast now, fearless.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.